These are 5 defenses to stream in Week 12. First up is the Washington Commanders. The Commanders are going up against an unraveling Dallas Cowboys team. Over the past 2 weeks, the Cowboys have surrendered a whopping 39 points to opposing defenses. And in both of those weeks, those defenses have finished as the top scoring defense in fantasy. And if things weren't bad enough for America's team, they got worse on Monday night after losing 3 offensive linemen, including Zach Martin and Tyler Smith. They also lost their starting tight end in Jake Ferguson, leaving them even more vulnerable than they already were. This is a prime get-right game for the Commanders, who have dropped 2 straight, and I fully expect them to add to the 8 sacks, 2 interceptions, 5 fumble recoveries, and 1 defensive score the Cowboys have racked up over the last 2 games. Especially if Trey Lance gets the starting nod. They're only rostered in 20% of leagues, and they are by far the #1 streaming defense for the week. Number 2 on the list is the Denver Broncos. Considering the Broncos are the #2 scoring defense in fantasy for the year, it's kind of shocking they're only rostered in 64% of leagues. While they haven't been as productive over their last 3 games, they still lead the league in sacks with 39, and they're averaging 9 fantasy points per game. They're also coming off of a huge win where they manhandled the Falcons 38-6, and they get an even easier opponent this week in the Raiders, who have lost 6 straight and don't really have any weapons outside of Brock Bowers. I'm expecting Gardner Minshew and company to struggle against the Broncos team that has given up the 5th fewest rushing yards per game and the 8th fewest passing yards per game. Number 3 on the list is the Houston Texans. The Texans are the 7th highest scoring defense in fantasy this year, and since week 6, they've been number 3, and they've scored in every which way. They've racked up 19 sacks, 11 interceptions, 6 fumble recoveries, and have 1 defensive score. And this week they're going up against the Tennessee Titans and Will Levis, who has taken 12 sacks in his last 2 games. He's also thrown a pick and has fumbled once. While the Titans have looked better the last couple of weeks, they also lack weapons outside of Calvin Ridley and Tony Pollard. So I'm expecting the Texans to continue their strong play and to take advantage of a turnover-prone Will Levis. The Texans are widely rostered already due to their matchup with the Cowboys in Week 11, but if they are somehow available or get dropped, I would not hesitate to pick them up. Number 4 on the list is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Buccaneers face off against the Giants, who finally accepted that Daniel Jones is not the answer. So Tommy DeVito, aka Tommy Cutlets, will get the starting nod again. And he looked pretty competent last year at times, posting an 8-3 touchdown to interception ratio, but he did take 37 sacks over his 9 games. And this is exactly why I like the Bucs. While the Bucs have not been able to generate many takeaways, they have had some success rushing the passer, racking up 28 sacks, which is tied for the 6th most. Number 5 on the list is the Arizona Cardinals. The Cardinals defense has been excellent over the last 2 games, holding their opponents to a combined 15 points. And over those 2 games, they have 9 sacks, 1 fumble recovery, and a safety. They've scored 12 fantasy points in each of those games, and this week they go up against Seattle and Geno Smith, who has taken 32 sacks, the 4th most in the league. Smith has also struggled with ball security, throwing 5 interceptions and fumbling 3 times over his last 3 games. The Cardinals have quietly won 4 straight and 5 of their last 6, affording them plenty of momentum coming into this game. Those are 5 defenses to stream in Week 12. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe and let me know which defenses you think we should stream in the comments below.